Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about NBA players who acted in movies. Now if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe with post notifications on so you don't miss any of the future videos. And also let us know down in the comments which of these is your favorite movie. And let's start with Kyrie Irving in Uncle Drew. What started off as a Pepsi commercial turned into a full-length movie. Kyrie Irving acts as Uncle Drew, in which the character Dax stumbles upon. Uncle Drew is a legend of basketball, and Dax convinces him to return to the court one more time. The two embark on a road trip to round up Drew's old basketball squad, while in the end trying to win the tournament. Now, an interesting thing is we also have some other NBA players appearing in this movie, like Shaquille O'Neal, Reggie Miller, Nate Robinson, Chris Webber, and many more. Either way, even though Uncle Drew is not a masterpiece of a movie, it definitely made its money, making over double of what it spent. Next one we have is Lebron James in Trainwreck. The greatest basketball player in the world made his big screen acting debut opposite Amy Schumer in 2015's Trainwreck. He plays as the best friend for the male character, and he has done a good job. In general, he plays an exaggerated version of himself, a cheapskate who is in touch with his feelings. It is not a stretch to say that athletes don't always make the best guest stars or cameo appearances, but LeBron, whose substantial role as Bill Hader's sidekick is much more than a cameo. In this movie, LeBron James proved himself to be a delightfully natural comedic talent. Shaquille O'Neal in Kazam. Now, Shaq wasn't the best actor, but that didn't stop studios for paying him the big money to star in their mediocre movies in his heyday. He's played a basketball player in Blue Chips and a superhero in Steel. But for kids who grew up in the 90s, Kazam is an all-time classic. Now, this movie is definitely a bust, and a lot of people absolutely laugh at this movie. But what Shaq said about it is that it wasn't meant for adults, it was actually made for kids. And that is why most people who are criticizing the movie are wrong, as looking from a child's perspective, it might be a great movie. But regardless, Shaq is getting ridiculed all the time about Kazam. Even once when he opened up a movie theater, he said, "If we start showing Kazam, I will be out of business." Ray Allen in He Got Game. The former Bucks, Sonics, Celtics, and Heat star earned acclaim for his portrayal of the basketball talent Jesus Shuttleworth in Spike Lee's He Got Game in 1998. Acting opposite the great Denzel Washington, Allen rose to the occasion like it was a Game 7 of the 2013 NBA Finals. This was one of the major roles an NBA star got in a movie, and he did an amazing job. He Got Game became one of those basketball classics in which all of the NBA fans know about this movie. This is one of the rare movies on our list that had some critical acclaim. Marques Johnson in White Man Can't Jump. The five-time Milwaukee Bucks All-Star appeared in several films after his playing days were over, most notably as a street baller hustled by Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson in director Ron Shelton's 1992 sports classic. This movie is definitely funny, and it became, as we said, a classic movie. The movie follows Billy, a hustler who makes a living out of conning African American players into believing that he cannot play basketball. He teams up with Sidney, one of his victims, to double his chances. This movie was a box office hit, generating $90 million in 1992. Next one we have on our list is the legendary performance of Michael Jordan in Space Jam. The gold standard of basketball movies, Bugs Bunny enlists the greatest player in the world to help save the Looney Tunes from an evil alien theme park owner. Now, what to say about this film cult classic? Even though a lot of people didn't believe that this style of a movie will be successful, a combination of animation and real life, but it turned out to be a global success. The director of the movie said the movie was very hard to pitch. It had a weird storyline and it mixed animation and real life, so he was genuinely afraid that Michael Jordan will not accept this movie. But thankfully it happened and we got Space Jam. Other NBA players that starred in this movie were Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Muggsy Bogues, Shawn Bradley, and Larry Johnson, all of whom were active NBA players at the time. So then, a battle between Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes characters versus this starting lineup was very interesting. Now, a sequel to this movie will be starred by LeBron James, and the movie is set to release in 2021. As for the supporting cast, it is said that Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, and also Klay Thompson and Chris Paul have joined the cast of the highly anticipated Space Jam sequel. Next one we have is Gheorghe Muresan in My Giant. When Billy Crystal needed someone for a movie inspired by his friendship with Andre the Giant, he chose the very tall, very inexperienced Gheorghe Muresan. The 7'7" Romanian player played a man with a big heart. Entertainment Weekly called the Washington Bullets center's performance surprisingly endearing. And taking into consideration he didn't have any acting experience, his role was well received. Next we have Wilt Chamberlain in Conan the Destroyer. The NBA's most prolific scorer of all time tried his hand at acting in this 1984 sequel to Conan the Barbarian. Starring opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chamberlain playing Bombata, an imposing badass warrior with a hair to die for. Next one we have is Kevin Durant in Thunderstruck. Before leaving Oklahoma City to chase rings with a 73-win team, Durant played himself in this variation of body-switching comedy genre. The film, released in 2012, is about a teenager who becomes the star of his high school basketball team after magically switching skills with his favorite NBA player. Now, the movie was a complete bust. With a budget of around $8 million, it only earned about $500,000 in the box office. Kevin spoke about the movie, saying it was a fun experience, but looking at it now, it is something he probably wish he didn't do. Next one we have is a lot of NBA players in Like Mike. This movie is about a 14-year-old kid, Lil Bow Wow, who becomes a basketball star, thanks to a magical pair of Air Jordans, who actually were produced by the NBA. Naturally, there are cameos everywhere, from Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady to Allen Iverson and Dirk Nowitzki. Also, the major roles go to Jason Kidd and Chris Webber as well. This movie features so many NBA stars back in those days, like Steve Nash, Rasheed Wallace, Alonzo Mourning, and many more. And it's definitely a shame that this movie, with all of these NBA stars, failed so much. Now, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel with post notifications on, and also let us know down in the comments which of these movies was your favorite. We hope you have a wonderful day, and until next time, bye bye.